47-45, about 10 minutes to go, you guys had the lead, and then they kind of quickly took it from there. What changed at that point? What are you guys still trying to figure out in some of these moments where it's a tight game and the other team puts a run together late?
At that point, it's just really getting stops at the end of the day. Keying in on no second chance points and all like that. But giving on Northwestern credit, they hit 12 threes. Some of those contested, some was wide open, but still give them credit they was making shots that night. So it's kind of hard to defend somebody hitting 12 threes. It's just toning into the small things. We back at practice tomorrow, so we're just gonna look over film and get better and get ready for Michigan State Sunday.
Justice, how did you see the game change there at that point?
It's like Bruce said, man. Those stops at the end of the day, they got in a little groove, and they hit 12 threes, man. And those runs, there's a point where we got to be able to fight back and prevent them, especially around this time of the year where teams go on runs late. So we just have to continue to get better every day to work towards that.
Does it feel a little bit like deja vu, or do these losses all kind of feel the same, or do you feel differently after this one than maybe after the one prior or the one before that?
At the end of the day, it comes back to all the small things. I won't say like deja vu, but like just getting this feeling after this game after game after game, like human nature, like you're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna get like, I'm tired of this, like to a point. But until we figure out to do the small things, until we figure out to do the small things, nothing will get past us. So we gotta figure out what to do for the small things, the key on things, so we can be successful at the end of the day.
You guys were, I think, 1 of 14 from three-point range, and I know that's not a shot you can just hit, but what wasn't going right from distance, and how big of an impact do you think that made on tonight's game?
It definitely made an impact. I feel like we never shot one for 14, right? From 3 the whole year, so it definitely it was an impact. But for us to still be in the game still says a lot. It's just hard to beat somebody that hits 12 threes, you hit 1 3. To just do the math and just stuff like that. But we still able to be in the game at the end of the day. We still could have won. It doesn't matter. I feel like we was all in the right positions to win the game, but we didn't key on those small things. I was back the same again. So until we figure out how to do the small things, then we'll be all right.
Are you aware in a game, obviously the threes aren't flying, but you're aware, does it start to get in your head that you're not making threes, or is that something that on the court you're oblivious to how poorly it's going from three-point range?
Yeah, I don't think we're oblivious. Our team, we make shots. We have some teams or some guys on the team that really can hit that, knock it down. But regardless of if we're hit or not, we're going to continue to shoot those, especially if they're open, especially if it's getting into the guys' hands that make those shots. But we have to continue to be able to rely on our defense at the end of the day. Like BT said, we were still in the game regardless of that. Even though that's a big margin, 1 to 12 threes, man. It's going to be difficult to beat teams like that. So like you said, you got to give them their props for hitting those. But also we were still in it, and Big Ten play, man. We've seen this entire year how close or how small that margin of error is, and again it got us tonight.
So I'm curious if you guys feel like you have clearly defined roles on your team, because Bryce didn't start Sunday. Tonight he plays 12 in the first 35 minutes. It feels like we see Tanner into the Indiana game, then we see him the first half of the next game. I'm just curious if you guys all feel like you have, at a point in the season where roles are usually clearly defined, if you feel like that applies to your rotations right now.
I think HC, I think Coach Ho going to put it in the game and play the players that he feels like is gonna that he needs at the time, or obviously depending on how they're playing. So that's a question for him. But regardless of who's on the floor, those 5 guys, they have to be able to play together well. We all know our strengths and weaknesses, and we know how to flow. So we just have to be ready when your name is called, and have to be able to be productive, man, and be able to play hard and show that effort.
You guys have relied on Bryce quite a bit this season, and We haven't heard from Coach yet. Don't know if anything was discussed on the broadcast or anywhere else, but did you guys go into this game knowing he was limited? Has he been sick? I mean, what gives, I guess?
He's human like everybody else. Of course, he don't have nights where he on, no nights where he off, but at the end of the day, we know what Bryce is capable of doing every single night. He's a tough shot maker, and he showed, I feel like he showed the world like what he's capable of doing. So this really don't show who he really is. He gonna keep fighting through it, and his time will come again. Cause I know how much work he put in. We all see how much work he put in. So these games, I feel like they're gonna go by and he's gonna figure it out.
You guys mentioned the little things and how, sometimes it just comes down to this in these kinds of games. Feels like some games you do some of those little things well, and then there's some other things that come up that you guys don't do so well. How frustrating is that to sometimes improve in one category, whether it's rebounds or assists, and then the next game it's something else? I guess starting justice, like, does it feel like it's not all coming together, and there's sometimes pieces that are and pieces that aren't?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I feel like our team's been able to make strides in a lot of areas that we were struggling with a couple weeks ago. But still, in these tight games, where they're a couple possessions away, the team's able to go on that little run that kind of puts them over edge on us. So I think just dealing with those the kind of those inconsistencies is tough, obviously. But the important thing is that I feel like BT feels the same, is that we make strides in this. We work on this every day. We're going to continue to do it until we catch the flow of this thing. But yeah, man, it's just a matter of us continuing to work on that stuff every day, and being consistent in that position.
Finish up with that. Chris Collins was in here and saying in the last 10 minutes, when those little runs that you're talking about, he said it takes guys that have courage, toughness, and togetherness in late game minutes. And I wonder how you guys feel about yourselves in those categories when it comes to those tough situations.
I feel like we was right there. The difference was the big shots they hit, to put them up 9 instead of keeping it at 6. So that's a little small different meaning a lot at the end of the game. Cause we had 2 opportunities in the game, Bryce getting the steal and my tip at the play. We still had the opportunity at the end of the day. So last 10 minutes of the game is really important, but also the first 30 is important as well. So all that put together, you have to come together as one, and Northwestern is just a better team today.
Justice, for you, you seem to attack with a little bit more success, I guess, consistently than some of the more recent games. It seems like maybe you're getting into a little bit of a flow these last 2. Are you seeing things differently? Are teams guarding you any differently, or do you just feel like these last couple of games are a little bit better performances from you?
I think it's just consistency in my work ethic that's able to carry over, and especially my teammates, giving me that confidence, helping me, getting me in my positions to be able to be productive and create. But yeah, that's the only thing I can say that's been the difference. Teams are gonna obviously, they're gonna have their game plans for each and every one of us, but it's just a matter of how we attack that. So we wanted to be more aggressive today. I think we did a good job of that. But once again, it's just some little defensive lapses and that little short span that ultimately, allowed them to take that 9-point lead that DT was talking about.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.